26, 1768, Plymouth.
This afternoon at 2 o'clock, with a fair wind, His Majesty's bark Endeavour set sail for the South Pacific island of Tahiti. Aboard are the noted naturalists Mr. Joseph Banks and Dr. Carl Solander. The purpose of the expedition is to observe the transit of Venus from the newly discovered island of Tahiti.
Aye, but that wasn't the only reason for the voyage. The Admiralty had other work for the captain to do.
Secret orders of the Admiralty to Lieutenant James Cook, commanding. So soon as the observations of the planet shall be finished, you are to proceed to the southern until you arrive in the latitude of 40 degrees. Then proceed westward until you discover the Great Southland, or fall in with the eastern coast of the land discovered by Tasman and now called New Zealand.
The Great Southland. Aye. Some thought New Zealand might be part of that legendary southern continent. The captain showed it wasn't. He sailed round both those islands. After that, we set a course west for Van Diemen's Land, and into the teeth of a gale.
Good morning, Mr. Banks.
Captain, why does this coffee always taste so foul?
Oh, it's the way the ship's cook makes it, I suppose.
How does he make it?
Oh, out of burnt bread. You see, when the weevils
Oh, no, Captain, no, I've stood many things, but not that.
Would you like to know where we are?
How can you tell in this weather?
Not very well, but according to this chart of Tasman's, we're already 60 miles inland of Van Diemen's Land.
Then that storm out there is only a mirage, eh?
That gale's pushed us north, about 50 leagues. If Tasman's chart is accurate, it means Van Diemen's Land's only a small island. In which case...
Sir?
Lady, I suggest you close that door.
Yes, sir. Captain,
What is it, Isaac?
Mr. Hicks sends his compliments, sir. He thinks he has land in sight.
Land? Land? Midshipman, open that door.
It's only a smudge on the horizon, but with all this low cloud, I can't be sure, sir.
No, it's land right enough, Mr. Hicks.
Well, what is it, sir? Van Diemen's Land?
Well, it may be, Mr. Hicks. We're too far north of Tasman's position to be certain.
It's the Great Southland. I'm sure of it.
Perhaps, Mr. Banks. We'll find out. Well, Lieutenant, you've earned yourself a signal honor.
Aye, sir?
Aye, that point of land over there. I'm going to name it Point Hicks, after you.
Sir. And he did. The captain wrote it in the ship's log that night for everyone to read.
At 6, saw land extending from northeast to west. Distance, 5 or 6 leagues. The southernmost point of land I've named Point Hicks, because Lieutenant Hicks was the first who discovered this land.
Captain's log, April 19, 1770. Map reference 1.
In calm weather now, we sailed the ship along the coast of that strange new land, watching for signs of life on shore and wondering. And then we came to the entrance of a bay.
Mr. Hicks, stand by to anchor.
Aye, sir.
All hands to take in sail. Steady as she goes.
Captain, there are natives on the shore, both points of the bay.
Very well. Starboard your helm.
Starboard helm, sir.
Let go.
Let go. Get the camera up.
Now, Mr. Hicks, that telescope, if you please.
There they are, sir. And there are huts over there on the south shore.
Yes, I see.
Rude habitations, Captain.
Aye, I think we'll have a closer look at those habitations and the inhabitants. Are you coming, Mr. Banks?
Indeed, sir. And Dr. Solander would like to come, too.
Yeah, if the captain please.
Very well, then. Mr. Hicks, call away a boat's crew, if you please, and pass the word for the Tahitian to pay her.
Aye, sir.
Easy oars.
Captain, the natives, they're running away.
Oh, damn it, Midshipman, you've terrified them.
They're not all running, Isaac.
No, those two seem to be waiting for us.
To pay. What are they saying?
That's no talk I have heard before.
Well, it certainly isn't the King's English, that I can tell you, sir.
I think they're waving us to come ashore.
All right, let's try it. Oars! All right, Isaac, over you go. You can be the first ashore.
Captain, they're gone, sir! Quick!
A shot over their heads! Look out!
They're running now, sir.
Yes. All right, men, keep together. We'll take a look around.
Log date, April 29, 1770. Map reference 2.
And so we landed on that strange coast for the first time. The first Europeans that ever did. We spent many days ashore. The captain liked that country.
Captain's log, May 3rd.
I found in most places a deep black soil, capable of producing any kind of grain.
And he tried to make friends with the natives, but couldn't.
We could know very little of their customs, as we were unable to form any connection with them.
And the men liked the fishing.
The yawl returned from fishing, having caught 2 stingrays weighing 600 pounds.
The captain thought at one time he'd call that bay Stingray Harbor. But he finally wrote about it.
The great quantities of plants Mr. Banks and Dr. Solander have found in this place occasioned my giving it the name of Botany Bay.
And so it was. Botany Bay. And then at daylight on May 6 of that year, 1770, we set sail.
Break up the main together.
Well, Mr. Hicks, that makes our latitude 33 degrees 50 minutes south.
Yes, sir. Captain, there's a fine-looking bay over there.
Right, mark it on the chart. We won't go in, Mr. Hicks.
Captain's log, May 6th, 1770. Map reference 3.
At noon, we were abreast of a bay where there appeared to be safe anchorage, and which I called Port Jackson.
Port Jackson, Cape Byron, Moreton Bay, Keppel Island. For weeks we sailed north along the shores of that strange land.
Coming up on that passage, Captain.
Very well, Mr. Hicks.
What are you at, sir?
Well, we're going to sail the passage between that large island and the mainland, Mr. Banks.
You know, today is Whit Sunday in England, sir.
Oh, so it is, Mr. Banks.
Captain's log, Sunday, June 3rd, 1770. Map reference 4.
This passage I have named Whit Sunday's Passage, as it was discovered on the day the church commemorates that festival.
Aye, Whit Sunday in old England, and Mr. Banks wishing he were there. A few days later, we were thinking we might never see England again. On June 11 it was.
You will not see a moon like that in England, Mr. Hicks.
No, sir.
By the board! Take!
Shoaling again, Captain.
Yes, Mr. Hicks. I don't like it.
Don't like what, Captain?
We're in reef waters, Mr. Banks, and the depths are changing too quickly.
A half less, 80!
That sounds deep enough, sir.
Aye, maybe.
A quarter less, 70!
Looks like something.
Get there! Think is ahead! Starboard your helm! Look out! Starboard!
Get those sails off the tanks. She's stuck faster. Take it sail.
Midshipman, get below and check damage.
Aye, aye, sir.
Struck. And all night she stuck there on that reef, the water pouring in below and the coral grinding it to timbers.
Mr. Hicks, get that anchor in the boat and take it out on the starboard quarter. We'll have to try and heave her off. Captain, she's taking water fast. We need more men at the pumps.
I can't spare any more men.
Oh, damn it, sir. I may not have much juice here, but I can still pump. Eh, Dr. Solander?
Yeah, we do that.
Come on, Doctor.
Midshipman, get a party of men. Start lightening the ship. I want those guns aboard, all the ballast, and anything we don't need.
Aye, aye, sir.
I've got the anchor out, sir, and tackle rig. Very good. Now, Mr. Hicks, get all the hands you can spare to the capstan. We've got to heave her off. Aye, aye, sir. Midshipman, get a party of hands. I want a sail forward over that leak as soon as she comes off.
Aye, aye, sir.
Heave! On that captain now, heave! Heave! She's out!
We anchored the ship in a harbor at the mouth of a river we called Endeavour. At low tide, we ran the ship aground and heeled her over to make repairs.
Endeavour River. Map reference 5.
Captain, look at this, sir.
Aye, coral.
Yes, sir. Broken off in the timbers.
As well for us it stayed there. We'd have lost the ship.
Yes, sir.
We were a month in that remote and lonely harbor, surrounded by that strange countryside that offered always more wonders.
Sir, there's an animal over there which I do not believe.
Indeed, Mr. Banks.
Yes, it has a tail as long as its body. The forelegs are 8 inches, but the hind are 22. And it progresses by hopping and jumping. 8 feet at a hop, sir.
8 feet, Mr. Banks.
Aye, and there were other strange things to be seen. giant ant hills as tall as 2 men, and great crocodiles 30 feet long. Clams so big it took 3 men to carry one. And the natives,
They were wholly naked.
Their skins the color of wood soot. Some parts of their bodies had been painted with red and with streaks of white. Their features were far from disagreeable. Their voices soft and tunable.
and then the ship was ready, and the captain anxious for the sea again.
Captain's log, August 6th, 1770.
At 2 p.m. it fell pretty moderate, and we got under sail and stood out upon a wind.
Hoist the topsails! Steady as she goes!
For weeks we sailed northwards in seas studded with reefs and small islands.
Mr. Hicks, call away the boat's crew and the party marines. I'm going to go ashore on that island.
Aye, sir. Boats, crew, stand by. Captain?
All right. Come on, Mr. Banks. You too, Dr. Solander.
Well, Captain, what do you see?
Nothing. Mr. Banks, there's no land in sight. From this island right round the southwest.
Then we've reached the northernmost point of this land.
Yes, and we found the passage to the Indian Seas.
The Strait Torres was thought to have discovered?
Yes, Mr. Banks. Marine party, prepare to hoist the colors. Mr. Banks, I'm going to take possession of these lands we've discovered.
Aye, aye, Captain.
So we stood there, the men of the Endeavour, on that far-off island, while the captain, in the name of King George III, took possession and named the lands we'd discovered. New Wales, he called them. But they say he changed it later to New South Wales.
Log date, August 22nd, Possession Island. Map reference 6.
Color party! Present! Aye! The ship's answering, sir.
Aye, they've seen the colors.
It's a great country, Captain.
Yes, Mr. Banks. Someday, perhaps, a very great country.
We sailed from those shores that day through the straits.
Map reference 7.
For home and a hero's welcome. For some of us. Mr. Hicks died on the voyage home, but the young midshipman Isaac Smith, he rose to be an admiral in time. Dr. Solander settled down at the British Museum, and Mr. Banks, he became president of the Royal Society and a good friend of the captain's. And the captain, aye, the captain, what was it he said?
I had the ambition, not only to go farther than any man had ever been before, but as far as it was possible for man to go.
Aye, that was the captain.